Hi, this is Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Well, hello. It is that time again, time for the NX 7062 podcast. And look at everybody that's here. I got to catch up on my chat, see who has come in. It was in the 70s today. Hey, Janine, good to see you. It is in the 70s today, so I was out and about breaking in the convertible finally. Having a great day. It's going to rain again tomorrow. I swear to God, we are worse than Seattle lately. Hello, Mohammed and Janine and Nancy and Robert and JR. Yes, you got here right at 2200 hours, JR. Awesome. I might have started a second or two early, but that's okay. And I did see Tiffany fly by. Hi, Tiffany. We're already international for the evening with Tiffany here from Canada. Love it. And she's on the, correct me if I'm wrong, Tiff, you're on the other side of Canada. So you're, it's not even that late for you. You know, it's like dinner time and you're joining us and I love it. Thank you so much for being here on my Wash Gang crew from Shuttlepod Show Live. And we are going to be talking about Shuttlepod Show stuff. I promise. With my very special guest, who I think you all know. Oh, yes, that was awesome. JR saw our video from where we were singing Where My Heart Will Take Me at the Fox and Hounds over in Burbank. They actually invited us back for next year. They had so much fun. The owner of that bar happens to be a Trekkie, so he was really excited to have us. And yeah, that was a fun evening, getting together and doing a group sing. And, you know, y'all know me. Normally, I am all about the solo singing, but I did have fun sitting at the table singing along with everybody that was there. Hello, Melissa and Puka and Anika. Hello, everybody. Oh, my gosh. We're getting an amazing crowd here in the chats. I am vamping because Mark is going to be fashionably late. But as I told him when he let me know, and he told me I needed to vamp. I'm like, me? Vamp? Are you kidding? Hey, Dave. I think I can handle vamping. Sorry, late. Oh, aw, stray cats. Hey, Mars. Hey, Ed. So let's see. I'm just, you know what? Part of my vamping is just going to be reading everybody in the chats. Stray cats, you are totally allowed to be straight. You are totally allowed to be late for stray cats. Oh, look at Jober being all multilingual. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour à toi, Jobert. There you go. That sort of sounded like that. What's his Javert from Les Miserables. You know, that whole thing. Let's see. Mars, I did say hi to you, right, Mars? I don't want to miss you. Chat pack ahoy. I love that, JR. That's awesome. I should put that on a shirt. I could put that on a shirt. Because y'all know I've got shirts. I'm wearing one right now. Not that you can see it really well, but it is a tank top with a giant NX7062 logo on it. Hey, Trucker Mike. Thanks so much for joining us. Straight, stray, you know, just a little slip of the tongue. It's late. For some reason, I've been tired lately at night. I should probably start drinking energy drinks midday. Hey, Travis, long time no see. Thanks for popping on. All right, we are doing great. Hello, Uncle Hairball. So, all you old familiar faces, that's a song that this heart of mine embraces. Yeah, I can't remember it. Okay. So honestly, I was going to give y'all a choice whether you wanted to hear my big special announcement or if you wanted to talk to Mark first. But since Mark's not here yet and I'm supposed to vamp, I guess that means you guys are stuck with the special announcement and y'all have absolutely no vote because I need to vamp. So, as you all know, next Monday, Next Monday is the anniversary of the original airing of 2 Days and 2 Nights, which is one of my favorite Enterprise. No worries, Travis. Life happens. I get it. 2 Days and 2 Nights, which is one of my favorite Enterprise episodes. And I thought, well, what a perfect way to end the season, because that's kind of where season 2 was winding down. Oh, is DJ Kitty Cat here? Hey, DJ Kitty Cat. It's when the season was winding down. So I just thought, well, that's a good, that's a good end. And Jober had an Asari. Oh my God, where's my tongue tonight? Oh my gosh. Jobert had an assignment. He was supposed to, since it was Risa and they were running around in their underwear, he was supposed to find Erica, who was going to be my guest, some sort of either T'Pol or Hoshi themed underwear. And that was going to be next week. Well, Jober, you got an extra week to finish your homework assignment, because just like the Enterprise, where they made the decision to go to Risa, and then they had two, and then they didn't get there until like the third week after they set course, because Desert Crossing happened and one other one happened. I don't remember what the other one was. And you didn't get to 2 Days, 2 Nights till like the third episode after T'Pol said, y'all need some tension relief. Okay. So just like that, we're putting the Risa stuff off. And there's a really good reason. So Erica, and I've already talked to her, Erica is going to be on my show on my extended last day, which is going to be May 22nd. So now, why, you all must be wondering, am I extending it? Why would I possibly bump Erica? There are very few reasons to bump the lovely and talented Erica Rose, but I figured Bonnie Frederici was one of them. I finally was able to catch up with her. We talked, we scheduled. I am in her calendar, barring any other issues. Mrs. John Billingsley will be joining me right here next week on the show. So get your questions ready for her. Go look her up on IMDb. You have probably seen her in things that you didn't even realize you have seen her in, including a couple weeks ago, she was in an episode of 911 Lone Star. And I was like, oh my God, it's Bonnie. I love her from Chuck. That's the first thing I ever saw her in, was Chuck. For any of you that haven't seen Chuck, stream it. I think you can find it on Peacock. It was a fabulous show. It launched, I always get his name wrong. Zach Levy. Launched Zach Levy. Yes, she was in Borg Enterprise episode Regeneration. That is right. Mohammed, of course, gets the stars for mentioning that first. For mentioning that first. You get the star. Yet half a star. The title, you missed the title of the episode, was Regeneration. Yes, she was. She was the tiniest Borg. But I fell in love with her in Chuck, which is the show that kind of launched Zach Levy. You didn't hear a lot from him after Chuck. Oh, by the way, and Scott Bakula played his dad in Chuck. But he is now Shazam, and he is fabulous as Shazam, and I love him as Shazam. Shazam 2 was really cute. Anybody out there see Shazam 2? It was really good. Anyway, so Bonnie's going to be joining me next week. She's going to wear, she promised me she was going to wear something, a souvenir that they gave her when the show wrapped. And I don't want to tell anybody what it is. I might have mentioned it on another show. It got me, when she showed it to me, I got really excited. It's her favorite thing, her favorite memory from the show. And she's going to share that with us, along with what it was like to be, was she? I'm not surprised. She's going to share what it was like to be a guest star on Enterprise, what that was like, and we can just talk about all the other many things she did. After I found out that she was Mrs. John Billingsley, which is, I found out at Mission New York, back in 2016, they were celebrating Trek's 50th, and that's the first place. Yes, Yvonne is awesome. I actually liked her more when she was in Dexter. I mean, she was great in Chuck, but she was fabulous in Dexter. If you have never seen her in Dexter, go watch Dexter. Actually, just go watch Dexter, period. But he had two really great blondes. He had Julie Benz, who was from Buffy and Angel. She played Darla. And then he got Yvonne later on in Dexter, and she was also incredibly fabulous. So, but I agree, she was great in Chuck as well. So I found out, I was talking to John. This is where I met John, and we were chatting in Mission, New York. And he had these pictures, and I said something like, "I know her. She was in Chuck." And he's like, "Oh, that's my wife." I was like, "Oh, you were married to the chick from Chuck? That is so amazingly cool." So that is how I found out that they were married, and this is the second time I've seen them together. I saw them together once. I bumped into John in STLV a couple years ago. He was talking to Connor, and I'm like, "How is your lovely wife?" And he's like, "She's right here." And I went, "Oh, hello." You don't realize how tiny she is until you meet her in person. She's very tiny. And then she stopped by when right before John went live with my show, she stopped by to say hi on camera. But anyway, I finally had a chance to talk to her about the show, and I am really, really excited that she is going to be joining me here on the show. And I'm so excited that she's going to be here. So think of your questions for the lovely and talented Bonnie. We can also talk about what it was like to do Shuttlepod show live, because she was there playing one of the British sisters for the Odd Couple reading. And of course, she and Nana were fan-damn-tastic doing that. So we can talk to her about that as well. So that is my big announcement. So everybody get your questions ready for Bonnie. Go look her up on IMDb. Like I said, oh, she was in Rizzoli and Isles. That's what I was getting at. I found out about her in Mission New York, and then every time I turned around, she was in Rizzoli and Isles. She was in Major Crimes. Connor was in an episode of The Closer. So she was everywhere. They were the best part. Oh my God, weren't they amazing? They really were. I thought that they were fantastic, and their accents were so spot on. I thought there was something else I wanted to say about Bonnie. Oh yeah, and like I said, she was in 911 Lone Star, which puts me 1 degree of separation away from Rob Lowe. Of course, the one thing that you can say about John Billingsley is he has enough energy for 100 people on stage, so everybody can feed off his amazing energy. But yes, the two of them together, they are absolutely freaking phenomenal. I did not know that, Mars. It does not surprise me. She organized Sack Lunch Sunday for Hollywood Food Coalition. Yeah, I can't wait to have her on. And like I said, we can just, sit here and talk about acting. I love talking to her and John just about the craft in general is so much fun. So again, just get your questions ready. I am really excited to have her on the show. It's been a long time coming. It was just, some stuff and some timing, and assuming that everything works out. The one thing that I think people tend to forget is that actors are a people too, and we always get excited to see, our favorite actors at a convention or somewhere, or, in the theater or somewhere, and then they cancel and we get disappointed. And I think not us, because we're all super ass cool. But I just think sometimes people forget that actors are people too. They have lives. They have like real lives. Like they go to the grocery store. In fact, at one point, John Billingsley texted me something like, "I'll get back to you after I do a run to the grocery store." I mean, actors, they go to the grocery store. They drive their car. They get up and they drive their cars and they do things. And life sometimes interferes. So right now, as of this moment, Bonnie is going to be here, and that should be awesome. And I can't wait for you all to meet her. Like I said, I was just really excited that I was finally able to confirm her, because I know everybody's got a lot going on right now in their lives. So the rest of the show is going to be taken up by me talking about Shuttlepod show and stuff. So here's the thing. So who all watches Saturday Night Live? I mean, I haven't in a very long time, because, hey, Selectorado, welcome. I haven't watched SNL in a while. Hello, Shuttlepod show. I take it, is that a hint? No? Okay. Hi, Shuttlepod show. So for those of you that know like the history of SNL, they used to do this thing. I don't know if they do it anymore. They do like that 5 timers club, because there are certain amazing guests like Tom Hanks and Chevy Chase who they invite back to host. So you're very special. You get like this. I think Steve Martin's part of the 5 timers club. Probably because Peacock. Probably because Peacock. Yeah, I mean, I think I love SNL. I love the history behind SNL, but I think it really did jump the shark a while ago. It's been a while since I felt like it was really good, and which is why I stopped even caring. But anyway, so I think if I was going to give out, obviously, if I was going to give out like a 5-timer award, yep, I was right. It is on. I figured that's on Peacock. So you know what you can't. All right, we're going to talk about the 5-timer award as soon as I'm ready to introduce my guest because he deserves more than the 5-timer award. Hey, War Dog. Well, I wanted to say something about. Oh yeah, SNL. Okay, so you can't find this. At least you couldn't when I found it. You can't find it unless you do a VPN. Tell the VPN to tell the World Wide Web that you're in England, and then go into YouTube and look it up. But there is a David Spade SNL skit that is a send up of Dominic's Vidal Sassoon commercial. And I found out about it and I absolutely had to see it, and I couldn't find it. It only plays if your computer, at least a few years ago, it only played if your computer thought you were in the UK. It could have changed. That could be, it could be here now. But when I found out about it, and I'm like, well, I've just got to see it. I've got to see David Spade doing the whole, when you're in the salon deal. That's what it was. It was a send up of the way Dominic said salon. I can't do it. His commercials on YouTube. Go look up. I showed it once on the show. Go look up Dominic's Vidal Sassoon commercial. But the way he said salon with the accent on the wrong syllable, David Spade does this really funny sketch about it. But like I said, at the time that I looked it up, I had to do a VPN and pretend I was in England, which for me was absolutely no hardship at all to do that. But yeah, so see, even I can even bring SNL not just back around to Star Trek, because we all know SNL has sent up Star Trek numerous times. That's easy. That's so easy. But to bring it around to actually Enterprise specific Star Trek, that takes talent. So yeah, like I said, if somebody can find it and it's Americanized, that would be great. Otherwise, yes. I mean, they were doing send up as Star Trek as far back as Belushi. John Belushi, Jim's his brother. John Belushi was captain of the Enterprise, and I think wasn't Aykroyd Spock. I mean, that's how far back that they were doing it. So, all right. So let me just warm up the crowd since I am sitting here vamping. So who saw yesterday's episodes with the cage? Who saw it? I moderate those chats, so sometimes it's really hard for me to like catch everybody, because I'm actually, when you're moderating, you're not looking for chats per se. Oh, Chevy Chase was Spock. Thank you, Ed. Aykroyd was Bones. That's it. Thank you, Puka. That's it. So sometimes it's hard to see who's in the chats because you guys all behave in the chats. You guys are amazing in the chats. I'm lucky if I see you in the chats because I'm actually looking out for the people that are not being respectful and not being nice in the chats. So yes, there were some really rude people. The moderator, I am so glad I am not the only moderator. That's all I have to say. I am so glad that I am not the only moderator for that chat, because when it's live, it is really hard to keep up with all the rude people. And there were a lot of rude people. And I think part of it is, it was new. Oh, hold on. It's a sketch with Jimmy Fallon as a volatile Barry Gibb and Justin Timberlake as a beleaguered Robin. Oh, okay. You guys are just chatting about SNL. I will tell you this, Annika. I am not a huge Jimmy Fallon fan. He annoys the shit out of me. I just feel like saying that. If you guys like him, that's totally fine. But his name just flew by me in the chat, and you know that I just goof around. So let's see. Moderating is a tall order to stamp out the rude and disrespectful. It is. And part of the problem is Thanks, Melissa. Thank you. It really is. It's hard. And honestly, I've accidentally I think I mentioned this before, especially if you're on if you're not on a small enough screen, if I'm on my laptop, it's really hard because here's the end of the chat line, and the three dots that let you decide what you're going to do to them is on the far side. And so I've actually accidentally deleted people. And the one thing YouTube should think about is letting you unblock people, because sometimes you accidentally delete something that you didn't mean to delete, and then I feel bad. Or do any oh wait, hold on, there you go. Okay, so I think we're ready. He's got his hat on, so he looks very ready because so as I mentioned before, SNL has 5 Pete's, the 5 Timers Club. Mark has surpassed them all. We all know this. He is my favorite guest. I love it because half the time it's like I'll think of it on a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm like, hey, you want to come on the show tomorrow? And he's always Johnny on the spot. So if you guys want to talk about episodes, I think the perfect person to talk about the episodes is, just like Puka said, Mark. Mark.
Hi.
Time.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for vamping.
Hard
Colin
show.
and Dominic just got home from the convention they were at, so
Okay.
yeah, we had to jibber jabber. So I apologize for being.
No apologies. It's good to know they're home safe and sound.
Mark. Yes. Oh, that's so funny.
Everybody's saying hi to Mark, so let's get all the hellos out of the way. We've got a full
Look at all
crowd
the people
tonight.
you have today. Have fun.
Well, everybody wants to hear us talk about episodes.
Yes.
Because it was fun.
Well, what did you think about it? I have my opinions.
I thought it was great. Not to kiss your ass, but I really did enjoy. No, I enjoyed it. It was something different. The editing was a little rough, but that's okay. It was the first episode. I mean, it was literally like you're going back to the beginning and doing another pilot. So
it was. In fact, it wasn't actually intended to air. It was a test shoot. So
right.
We did a test shoot to sort of figure out, can we do this? Will it work? There's all these big ideas about involving the community.
Right.
And can we actually achieve them? Like, can we get our own shit in order, which is necessary before you can involve potentially hundreds or thousands of people, given the way that our regular the Shuttlepod show episodes have been going. So it's been a lot of really hard work, and for me, it's a passion project. It's really important to me that people know that we really give a shit about Star Trek, and this show has defined my life. I've never participated in conventions or the fandom, as some of you know, but the reason we're doing the show is because it's so important to me. The reason I'm in the film business is because of Star Trek. And the reason I took my first job at Paramount was because of Star Trek. And the big ideas behind Star Trek are so important, I think. And what we want to try to do is identify the highs and the lows of Star Trek and talk about it, and teach Dominic and teach Connor and teach Erica and new fans to the show. Hopefully we would have new fans to our show about why Star Trek is so awesome. So, and it's hard to talk about something that people are really passionate about, because if you don't say all of this is super awesome, people will start to get upset.
Right. No, if you don't mirror their feelings exactly, then but first of all, I have to share this before it disappears, because Mohammed and I agree on like everything. So the discussion was amazing. I know some people had issues with Joe. not liking.
Oh, Joe's fantastic.
Yeah.
Joe's one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. I've known him for 20 years. He is a wonderful, intelligent, passionate person who is just joyful and has nothing negative to say about anything. But he has a critical eye when it comes to film and television.
Right.
And he's never seen any Star Trek. And what a better person to get on board than someone who can learn about it in the first perspective.
And I think to what DJ Kitty Cat's saying here, Selm, at some point they've done the research on the planets ahead of time that they only land on the ones they researched. Maybe along, I think what DJ's saying, and she'll correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe along with his critiquing, if he gets something wrong, like if there's something he doesn't, that he's missed.
Oh, we correct it.
Yeah, you correct it.
We talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's the point. So he said at the beginning of this show, like, all I know about Star Trek are the cultural tropes. You know, red shirts die. Shatner has an idiosyncratic speech pattern that is known worldwide.
Right.
And the important thing is that we talk about those because that's what every new fan to Star Trek sees. And the big idea, the conversation that we had was about how the ideas of Star Trek transcended the limitations of the format and built this audience of devoted fans who saw the bright future that Star Trek is selling. And that conversation is so, I think, invaluable and important. You know, we don't want to preach to the choir. We want new recruits.
Yeah, exactly. And I think based on the feedback I was seeing in the chat yesterday, and like I don't know if you heard me talk about being a mod is really difficult sometimes because I want to be involved in the chats, but I also have to be on the lookout, and me and my fellow mods have to be on the lookout for the trolls and the negativity. And I think a lot of and somebody actually said something about the difference between disrespect, something like how can you have a disagreement or you can't disagree, and it's like it's not about disagreeing, it's about being disrespectful.
Yeah. And you want to have a conversation about a point, that's great. You want to say this guy's a fucking asshole, well then go home.
Then go home, leave. Somebody actually did leave, but I think what was getting lost on some people was the fact that the whole point to having this open and honest discussion was you need somebody who's not wide-eyed and in love with Star Trek to give Star Trek an honest review.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're walking into. And like you said, he's got this background in film. He's a reviewer. So he walks into everything with this eye of reviewing.
Look how much he knew about Jeffrey Hunter.
Yes.
I mean, he was gushing about Jeffrey Hunter.
I know. I wish Chris could have stuck around a little bit more. He told me he had to leave early because he had other plans and he just wanted to pop in for a second just to kind of get a feel for what you guys were doing. But you and I have talked, and maybe someday you can sit down with Chris Hunter, because if you want to talk about somebody that loves Jeffrey Hunter, who better than Chris?
Chris Hunter. In fact, I think I suggested to you that we should shoot a conversation with him as a exclusive for our Patreon members, the people who are really dedicated to seeing this project through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Chris would do it. Chris has said on numerous occasions he was a Trekkie before anybody knew. I think his dad told him about it in 1964, before they even shot the pilot. His dad was telling him that he was doing this. So he's been on board that long.
So I'm trying to, Mars, when I first sat down, Mars, who is awesome, said, don't read the comments. But I do want to say hi to everyone.
Hi, Margit. Thanks for popping in.
Melissa, who's here. I think Melissa's just up the street from me.
Yeah, she said she told the team earlier she was somewhere in Burbank eating pad thai.
Yeah. Mohammed, hello. Ed, JR, Annika, Dave, Nancy, hello.
Yeah. The other weird comment we saw was the other weird comment that I saw online. It wasn't in the chats, but somebody had a problem with you bringing in unplanned. Is that unplanned track? Is that
Unplanned Trek.
It was
Yeah.
Unplanned Trek. Yeah, the awards thing, which I thought was fun.
Oh, I saw one negative comment about that, and I don't care. Like Isaac is an unbelievably. Both those guys over there at Unplanned Trek are really smart. They know all kinds of. They know Star Trek inside and out. They're fun. They're funny. They love it. They can laugh at it. They admire it. I think that they bring an excellent energy to the community.
Yeah, it was someone else, Mars, that said that.
Oh, that was my fault, Mars. The Keiko Award was my fault. I was searching for a way to explain what their awards were, and I said, for example, the Worf Award was for the best fight, and the Keiko Award was for the most relevant something. That's not actually what the Keiko Award was for. That's just what came out of my mouth. So you should hold me accountable to that, not Isaac or not Unplanned Trek. Yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
And I apologize to them for representing the award. Yeah.
No, Annika, Mark isn't in the chat. Shuttlepod shows in the chat, right? In my chat right now?
I am not in your chat right now.
No, right? Yeah, Annika was asking about that, but I thought I saw Shuttlepod show popped in and said hi. Was that you?
That's not me. No.
Oh, okay. Well, who's ever running the Shuttlepod show? Maybe it's Shran. Who else runs your? I don't know.
It's any one of probably 6 people.
Oh well, hi Shuttlepod show. Whoever's out there running the Shuttlepod show. It's hard to be in the chat and in the video sometimes. So. Yeah, exactly. The Shuttlepod show is here, so it could be one. The secret's out. Mark isn't the only one that runs the YouTube.
I couldn't do this if I wanted to. If you have ever met me know that I can't do 2 things at once.
So if it's Shran, hi Shran. We love that you're here. If it's somebody else, we're still loving that you're here, but I don't know anybody else besides Shran that would run it. So. Okay, Dave Gregory says, a chance to fully flesh out discussion and corrections where needed or good, hopefully with the live step-ups. There you go. That was a reply to DJ Kitty Cat. I'm not Shran. Ooh.
I don't know who it is then.
I don't know who it is either. I mean, I'm really excited that you're here. So thank you.
I gotta figure it out.
Yeah, now we gotta. Oh, well, if you wanna stay incognito, that's totally fine. You're entitled.
Tran.
Oh, Mars thinks it's Dominic. Dominic can run his own YouTube. Do you really think he can?
Get off the phone with Dominic. He is not in our chat right now. I can tell you that.
Chris. Oh, wait, hold on. See, these chats are moving too fast. Melissa thinks maybe it's Chris. We know it's not Dominic.
It is not Chris, because Chris is in a theater right now.
The Shuttlepod AI. Oh, there you go. All right, War Dog is guessing maybe Erica. We already said it wasn't Chris.
It's probably the AI.
Oh, there you go. It's the AI. It's chat AI, and it just knew enough to say it wasn't Shran.
Erica is in Venice dealing with other stuff. I don't think she's here.
No, I think Erica would just be Erica.
Yeah, she would log in as Erica. Yeah. She
would definitely log in as Erica. So it's going to remain a mystery. That's totally fine. I love it. I think, but it was you that first time. It was just over a year ago when I reviewed your first table read of Shuttlepod show, or Shuttlepod 1, when you that was your first appearance in my chat. But I think you showed up as the Shuttlepod show. I
actually just read an amazing review of that very first episode today. Somebody said that this weekend they had played our episode, our table read, our original table read from a year ago of the Shuttlepod 1 episode.
Oh, wow.
It's the actual episode streaming on Paramount Plus. And it came out almost exactly word for word.
Right.
Which was really surprising to me. Kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, except for that whale story, was it that scuba diving story?
there's a couple there's 2 parts of 2 scenes that were not in the actual episode that we read in our table read. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the first comments I ever made on one of your on that YouTube was how much I love that. I think it's so cool to get those scenes that hit the cutting room floor. It's so interesting to see what didn't make it. Jober thinks that it's Skynet. So I think he wins. It's Skynet. So let's all be really, really nice to Shuttlepod Show AI that's sitting here with us right now. So everybody's saying nice things. Because you know what they all say? Yeah, I have to be nice to your Alexas and your Googles because when they take over the world, they're gonna remember who's nice. Who's Erica? We're gonna tell her you said that. So what else did Skynet and the Suliban are working together? No, I don't think Nina's one. No, Nina's not one of the options. And Nina knows. Nina was supposed to show up here if she was awake. So
Nina's in Spain.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But no, Nina wouldn't. Nina would show up here as Nina. So what made you decide to do the sit down these watch parties, these watching episodes? What made you decide to do it?
2 reasons. I love Star Trek. And I love talking about Star Trek. And I want more people to know about Star Trek. In reality, so this was actually doing like a Star Trek school, watching Star Trek episodes and talking about them and bringing on guests relevant. We didn't do that in this first episode, but going forward, we're going to bring on guests that are relevant to the episodes that we watch. I think the biggest thing is that it's a love for all of us. The idea that we can talk about it, and I don't care that people disagree with stuff. We're all going to disagree about everything. I think the importance is the conversation, this is my opinion, this is my opinion, this is what I saw, this is, we see different things. Just in watching The Cage with Joe and Dominic and Erica and Connor, I learned things that having watched that episode half a dozen times, maybe a dozen times in my life, I hadn't seen before or even considered.
Right.
The conversation with this spectrum of people, the spectrum of fans of the show, I learned more about it, and that's really exciting to me. And I never get more excited in my heart than when I'm talking about Star Trek. So this is kind of the show that I really wanted to do in the first place. I love talking with great guests like Jonathan Frakes and Denise Crosby and a visitor, and LeVar Burton's going to be here on Wednesday. I can't wait to do all that. But talking about Star Trek itself is really exciting.
And again, not kissing ass, not trying to be unbiased, but I love Dominic's take on the whole thing. I just really enjoyed listening to him talk about it.
Yeah,
and because he really, when he gets going, he's really analyzing it. He's got a very
he's got that British analytical
yes.
sort of mindset, and he gets to it and he cares.
Exactly.
And Connor and Dominic and I get along so well is because they give a shit.
Right. And it's just his take. And Connor, I think Dominic had said he'd seen it once. Connor's like, I've never seen it. But yeah, I love listening to Dominic's insights on the show. I thought they were pretty spot on.
Well, that's actually one of the big, you asked about what motivated us to do this. One of the most frequent semi-negative comments that we get as the Shuttlepod show is, how can you have hosts who were in Star Trek who don't know anything about Star Trek? And that always grinds my gears a little bit because, it's, they always say you don't meet your heroes, they will always disappoint you. the thing about Connor and Dominic that I've always known is that they really acknowledge and care about the roles that they played in this franchise and how seminal it was
Right.
for both of them. And part of the reason why we're doing this show is to sort of, play that out. And they really care. So when people say, how can someone host a Star Trek show that doesn't know about Star Trek, kind of frustrates me. So
Right.
I figured if we're running them through Star Trek school, no one can say that they don't care.
Right. Exactly. And I think,
They wouldn't be doing it if they didn't care.
and I think they're humbled by their place in all of this. I've seen where they've been very humbled and they realize what it is to be part of this family.
Yeah, the fans.
Yeah.
The fans, they're just fucking blown over by the fan, as am I.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. But I mean, what people I think have to realize, because I watched one of the first Vegases where I was standing with Connor and one of the fans asked him something about jumping out of a tree. And Connor's like, just because Connor doesn't remember jumping out of a tree 15, 16 years ago, because they shoot everything out of order, you don't know where doesn't mean that he doesn't care.
Yeah, because you don't know exactly what you were thinking in a certain moment in a scene. Actors have like the things that they're being told to do out of order. They have no sense of the episode they're shooting.
Right.
But fans really care.
Yeah, exactly. And I just what I hope.
How do we bridge that gap?
Right.
And that gap by taking actors in the show and putting them through the episode.
Right.
Having them watch what the fans see and what the fans grow to love. And then they can finally see it from the fans' perspective. And to me, there might be some rough edges around what we're trying to do. But I think once we're 20 episodes into this new show, that people are going to be with what we're doing and want to engage in the conversation and really care about the fact that we give a shit about Star Trek. This is my passion. My son is named after James Kirk. My son's name is Tiberius.
That's right. I remember when you told me that. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Anyone who tells me on the internet that I'm going to shit on Shatner or not care about Star Trek, it's like, no. I'm dedicated into my core. And
yeah, exactly.
What we need to do is share that with the community. And we need to figure out, so this was a test shoot. It was clumsy, and I will admit that. But it's clumsy because we're trying to figure out the best way to have the conversation, and we're hoping for, because of the fact that the Shuttlepod show has dedicated fans who are really positive about what we're doing, we were hoping that we could test shoot this idea and get feedback from that community that appreciates what we've been doing so far, and help us mold this into the community conversation that we really want to have.
Right, exactly.
For me, like, to spend the rest of my life talking about Star Trek, I'm going to be a pig in shit.
Oh, where did Ed's comment go? It just, because I wanted to answer Ed, here's the thing, Ed, about this. Fans should have learned by now not to ask about specific. See, the thing is, people are always going to ask, because you know what? Sometimes the actors do remember. If it was a very pivotal scene, Connor remembers the scene where where Trip and T'Pol were discussing the death of their baby.
Yeah.
It was a very bad. So I feel like it's okay to ask an actor if they remember a certain scene. If you love a scene and you want to ask, just don't be disappointed if they're like, I'm really sorry. No, that's all. I mean, I've always felt like you can ask anybody a question and you never know. Maybe the actor's like, oh my God, I have a funny story about that scene. Yeah. So I don't have a problem asking, as long as the fan knows that they may be like, you know what, that was so long ago, I never watched it. As long as you're okay with that answer, because they could surprise you.
Well, not only like, so when we get to Enterprise, Connor and Dominic will be able to say in that moment, this other thing was happening behind the scenes.
Right, exactly.
No one knows about. When we have Walter Koenig back on to talk about the trouble with tribbles, when we have, you know, whomever on to talk about whatever episode we're talking about, not only can they see what the fans see and love, but they can talk about those moments that maybe we've not had the opportunity to talk about before. And I know a lot of these guys, like Connor and Dominic, and all these Star Trek actors in particular, have been at conventions for years answering questions to fans. But, you know, and there's behind the scenes sort of Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But there's something different about Star Trek actors talking with Star Trek actors about their experience shooting Star Trek in a situation like ours where it's safe, where we're not selling a Blu-ray. We're not, you know, you don't have to guard what you're saying because we're gonna like interview gotcha.
Right.
It's a little different, I think, with our setup.
Yeah, and I mean, to watch them all trade stories. Oh, well, what was it like on your set? Oh, well, what sound stages? I mean, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. When we were on that stage, did you? And they're like, "Oh my God, you have no idea." That's awesome. That
It
stuff
is so
fun.
much, yeah. And Ed had, I can't scroll back. He asked this question twice, so I'm going to just bring it up, but I can't find them. You know, about how sometimes they talk over each other in their excitement, and is there a way to control that? But the way to control that is just for all of them to realize, oh my God, we're all talking at once. Somebody needs to stop. I mean, it's a conversation. I am terrible. I am terrible in a group setting. I don't like group settings because I am the one that like, oh my God, I have something to contribute, and I can't keep my mouth shut. And I try and I admit it. I freely admit it. I acknowledge it. And I'm usually really good about shutting up when I realize I'm talking over somebody. But when you get excited and you have something to share, it's hard to stop yourself. And I mean, I know a lot of people, some people don't appreciate it. I think it's fun because I think it just shows the camaraderie and the enthusiasm. Melissa. Yeah, exactly. See, this is how I feel. It's a conversation between friends. And sometimes, yeah, you're going to talk over your friends. It's just a matter of what's funny is
Janine, I saw a picture of you and Connor and Dominic at the D&I Con this weekend with River. Is that the name of your avocado?
Yeah, I think it is. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was really I can't tell you how happy that made me.
But yeah, I just think when it's a conversation among friends, people are going to talk over everybody. What's really funny is when they all stop and then they wait for somebody else to start talking because they're like, all right, whose turn is it?
Yeah. This is a work in progress. You know, not everything is for everyone. The thing that I'm excited about is that a bunch of people are talking about Star Trek. So, you know, Joe Bano, for example, and his reviews are awesome. They're awesome. He talks about Star Trek in a way that I hadn't thought about in my entire life.
Right.
And you know, I might disagree with his initial reaction or his dismissal of this or that. But the magical thing about Joe is that he recognizes, again, and he said this in our first our test episode with the cage, the big ideas stand out, and the big ideas are what makes Star Trek transcend the limitations to era and to budget and to format. And the dedicated armada of people who have been inspired by Star Trek and the people whose lives have been changed by Star Trek, he acknowledges that in our conversation, and he sees it. And as someone who's known this man for 20 years, to see him finally watch Star Trek, and to now, having watched 4 episodes of the original series, the pilot for The Next Generation, the pilot for Deep Space Nine, the pilot for Voyager, the pilot for Enterprise, the pilot for Discovery, the pilot for Picard, the pilot for Strange New Worlds. To watch him become a Star Trek fan is really fucking exciting. And I am very excited for more people to be on the journey of new Star Trek fandom because of it. To talk about why we're fans. Why are we fans of Star Trek? You know, why are we fans? What do we like? What do we not like? What is important? What's not important? Why is it socially relevant? What has lasted the test of time and what has not lasted the test of time? All that stuff is important. And none of it should be considered shitting on Trek. All of it should be considered, a genuine assessment of that thing that we all care about the most. This is my favorite show. This is my favorite show. It's one of my favorite things. There are a few things that I think are better than Star Trek. And I'm so excited about this. I'm really disappointed with the limitations in the release of our test episode, The Cage. But we're going to improve on this dramatically in our next handful of the episodes that we do. And the excitement that I have for watching people talk about Star Trek is it's hardly controllable.
Right. Now you are going to do Where No Man Has Gone Before. Is that next up, or are you working your way through?
So we've already recorded reviews with Joe for Charlie X and Where No Man Has Gone Before, and then the other one. What's the other one? From the first season of the original series.
What, Man Trap?
Man Trap, Charlie X, and Where No Man
Has Gone Before. Yeah, Man Trap was the first one.
Actually aired.
Is there any sort of is there going to be sort of compare and contrast between the pilot that didn't and the pilot that did?
Absolutely, yeah. And so that's one of the things about what we're trying to do is that we build on, and that's why so it was a little awkward because we decided that the project would be to do the pilots of all the Star Trek series so that he could see the spectrum of where it started and where it is now before going back to relevant, more, episodes that are more popular or whatever. But because of how unique Star Trek's beginnings were, he watched The Cage, Charlie X, the other one, and Where No Man Had Gone Before, which is the original Kirk pilot. So he watched 4 original series episodes before moving on to The Next Generation. So I think that we're going to go on next to Kirk's pilot.
No Man Has Gone Before yet.
Maybe, I don't know. Either that or the first episode that played, which was not Charlie X. It was
no, Man Trap was the first one.
Man Trap, yes.
Man Trap was season 1, episode 1.
We might go to Man.
Yeah. This is an interesting Devil in the Dark contrasts with Devil in the Dark. Isn't that the one with the Horta, the big rock monster that they think is evil, but she's really just a protective mother? Isn't that Devil in the Dark?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to anybody that can answer that question. Puka's the one that said Devil in the Dark, so Puka would know.
Said Star Trek needed 2 pilots, and I would augment that by saying Star Trek is so good that it needed 2
pilots. And I was, oh my God, I got it right, because everybody knows I am not that great. I love my Star Trek, I love my TOS, but I suck at their titles. So I was right. Okay, so the Horta, yeah. So that's interesting that Puka thinks that... Horta.
The Vorta. Are you talking about Deep Space Nine?
No. Devil in the Dark is the TOS episode where there's a bunch of miners that are being killed by what they think is an evil rock creature, but it's not. She's just a mother, and they keep killing her babies, so she's defending her babies. And it's all about misconceptions about how, that's why they call it Devil in the Dark. You don't know what she is, but you find out what she is because Spock mind melds with her. And that's how he finds out that she's a mother, and the only reason that she's
Pizza Rock, Florida, or the Purple Lemurs.
Oh, they did a table read of Devil in the Dark on this year's cruise.
Oh, fun.
Fun. I love, when I was on the cruise, they did a Muck Time, which is my favorite TOS episode. And it was really good because just like your table read, they had the original script, so there was stuff that I'd never heard. And when it's an episode that you've seen a million times over, it's nice when you're like, you think you know what the next line is, and all of a sudden it's something completely different. So like with Shuttlepod 1, where they started talking about this scuba diving trip, and you're like, wait, what? I loved that. Frakes was Kirk, Marina Sirtis was, oh my God, Marina Sirtis was Scotty. That's awesome. That's awesome. We need to get you guys on the cruise. And Kitty was the Horta. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Well, that makes sense. Kitty's badass.
Kitty is bad. I'd love to meet her one day. I haven't had the pleasure. But Armin and Kitty are on my bucket list of people that I would very like to meet. So now that you're doing this, now that you're doing episodes, not that you aren't always looking for new guests, but you could always invite back. You could always invite back previous guests if there's an episode that you're doing that's centered to one of your characters.
What's exciting about the new show is that we can invite back anyone over and over again, and we have something completely unique to talk about because we're talking about a specific episode in the Star Trek franchise.
Right, and something fun with like LeVar and Jonathan Frakes and the other people. You can invite them back to talk about episodes where they were characters, and then invite them back to talk about the episodes that they directed. So you get all these amazing perspectives.
I try to make a habit out of not watching other people's stuff when we are coming up with an idea for our own show. So, like, I know that other shows do. There's a lot of, I think, probably the thing most done in Star Trek, podcasts or Star Trek YouTube shows or whatever, are watch and reviews. So we watched episode 15 of season 3 of whatever the hell, and this is what happened. One of the things that was really important for me was that we try to include the community in watching the episode. The community in the conversation about the episode, and the community in sort of the outcome of all of that, and that we get guests relevant to what it is we're talking about. I really love the idea of going through the franchise and whatever order, maybe not chronological or release order, but in whatever order we go through. I think it's fun and important to see the franchise, and then part of the reason why we have the spectrum of people who have seen and have not seen it. Like, I've seen every episode, and Joe has not seen any. That spectrum is what creates the conversation. And him saying, I don't get this, it's kind of silly, and then me or Connor and Dominic or anyone else in the room can say, but in this episode or in that episode or the original series over these 3 seasons, this thing happens. That's really exciting. I don't know.
So, of course, is Shuttlepod 1 going to be on your list of episodes?
Yes, obviously.
Obviously.
I right now, and I don't really know what we're doing yet, but I think what we're doing is we're just going to hit the pilot, the original series is a little complicated because of the 4 episodes that sort of acted as pilots.
Right.
But I think we're going to hit the pilots for all the series. And then we're going to start hitting relevant episodes all over the spectrum of the Star Trek franchise. I don't think it's going to be random, but and obviously we're looking for feedback from our Discord, from our Patreon members, from the community at large. What should we be watching and why? And we're going to consider that. Also, if we have a guest who's relevant on the Shuttlepod show who could stick around another day or that evening and watch a seminal episode of Star Trek that they were involved in, you know,
Yeah, there you
we
go.
don't have to do it in order. We don't have to do it.
There's no rules.
Yeah,
You
there's
can
no
make up the rules. All right. So Mars says curriculum, important Klingon episodes. So yeah, you could group them that way.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Well, Mars has actually been very vocal on our Discord about, what are our goals? How do we set our goals? How do we help the audience of the show get what we are trying to achieve? And that is really important. And anyone watching, we want to know, what it is that you care about in Star Trek, what you want us to talk about, what you want to talk about. And, we can roll that in. If we don't nail it today, we may not nail it tomorrow either, but we might take a step toward it. And the next week we'll get closer to it. This is going to be an evolving thing. I think we have 16 years of Star Trek content to produce in this format if we do an episode a week, which we're not going to do. But we're going to get close to that this year, I believe.
Let's see. Code of Honor. Jober's request is for Code of Honor. Isn't that the really, really, really bad one with Dorn?
Code of Honor is the worst episode of Star Trek ever.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
making a joke, and I'm not going to prioritize Code of Honor, Jover.
I think once you guys get established and figure out exactly what you're going to do, maybe you could throw that in.
Connor had a conversation. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're not going to prioritize notoriously terrible episodes.
Right. Oh, so I guess Sub Rosa's off the list too. No,
if Gates comes in and is like, I really want to talk about Sub Rosa, then
Gates really embraces Sub Rosa.
She embraced it because she doesn't want to be a dick.
No, I think she embraced it because she has fun with it.
Did she?
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
I kind of think I know a little bit. I mean, I can double.
I have
sources. I have sources.
She sat you down at her dinner table and said, "I need."
Not her personally, no, but I still have sources.
I love Sub Rosa, or
no, that she's embracing it because it's fun, not because she doesn't want to be a dick.
Okay.
I think she embraced it because it's fun, and she enjoys it. And I mean, all the memes are hysterical, but yeah.
I mean, the memes are great.
The memes are great. Where they evolved into sun worshipping place. It was interesting.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one. The Next Generation episode where they become tech gods. Oh God. What a weird episode. I don't not like it, but that is definitely on the list of weird episodes.
You know what's funny is the ones that everybody loves are ones that I'm just like, like Inner Light. Not one of my favorites.
Which one is Inner Light?
The one with Picard and the flute.
Oh, I love that one. The one where he gets the flute, where the satellite sends him to his fake life on the planet that blew up 100 years ago. Yeah.
Yep. Data in the Mask. I knew Data in the Mask.
Coming back, and he's like, it's amazing. I love it. Tears to my eyes every time.
I know.
He falls in love with the piano player and has a hard time sending her to the fire mission on the planet. Oh my God. And they were doing the music in the Jeffrey tubes. Just ripped my heart out. How magical is that? How can you not like the flute episode?
Food
Also,
episode.
he got to have a family, and everyone was like, Picard never got to have a family until season 3 of Picard. He never had any kids, and it's like, yeah, he did. He had 2 kids on the weird satellite planet, and even though it wasn't real, in his mind it was.
Yeah. Listen, Mars, yes, it was brave of me to admit that, but listen, I also admitted that up until a couple weeks ago, I'd never seen Starship Troopers, so...
Oh, that's right. Okay, hold on. Stop the train. We're not talking about Star Trek for a minute.
I watched it.
Actually watched Starship Troopers, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I did. The bugs.
Think of it.
Doogie Howser killing bugs, baby, looking like a jackbooted Nazi. Yes, I did. If you need any other proof, but yes, I did watch it. And I was right. Patrick Muldoon, who was the hot lieutenant guy, the other pilot, he was in my soap. He was in my soap. So, and the curly-haired chick from 90210 that had the affair with Brandon. This is how I know all of the people that were in Star Trek Troopers. But yes, I did watch it. So if you want to ask me a question,
Did you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Thought Michael Ironsides running around. Yeah, it was good. Gross bug stuff.
Ironsides is badass.
Yes.
So, yeah.
No matter what kind of movie he's in, he's badass. I thought it was interesting. The whole. So what
He's
was it?
Canadian Kirk, which is hilarious because Shatner's Canadian.
What was it? Civilians versus citizens? Is that how they differentiated? Like if you served, then you were a citizen.
A citizen is someone who stands up
Yeah.
for society. A civilian is someone who just lives off the cush of citizens. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting take on civilization as a whole. The whole bug thing, like I said, I thought was interesting that they kept winning. You know, it's like they really didn't defeat them in the end. It wasn't a happy ending. It wasn't like all like, oh yay, the bugs are done. So yeah, I did. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I might actually watch 2 and 3 just because.
No, don't.
Don't?
It's enough.
One's enough. All right. So are you pleased?
All I require of you. That's all I require of you. I know Jolene is in 2 or 3, but yeah, you don't have to watch it.
Jober just said Jolene's in 3. Listen, there's this horrible horror movie, Shadow something, that I watched because Jolene was in it. It had Jolene, it had James Marsters, and it had Tony Todd, and it still sucked.
James Marsters?
James Spike. No, Spike from Buffy. Marsters. He's the one with the S. Marsden is Cyclops. Marsters is Spike from Buffy. The reason that Trip isn't called Spike. But yeah, so I've seen Jolene in bad stuff before. It's okay. Because I do love Jolene. She's really the only person that I haven't seen in a lot of stuff.
They're gonna suck your brains.
Is that from that? That was awesome. I was not expecting.
I don't remember that actor's name, but he's in everything. We gotta go.
Oh yeah. No, it was good. It was good.
Melissa watched Glorious. What did you think, Melissa?
Oh, did Melissa watch Glorious?
Who watched Glorious? You watched Glorious.
I did. I watched it right after you, like right as soon as I found out it existed.
Did you like it? That was.
Oh my! Was I not texting you right after? I'm like, oh my god, this was so good.
My wall was covered with Glorious during COVID. Now it's covered with what we're shooting this summer, but
no, you can talk. Well, Melissa's there, so you can. While you guys are setting up, you guys can talk.
Melissa's here. In fact, Melissa, Eric, and I should probably take you out for margarita tonight if you're around.
Shadow Puppets. Thank you, Alan. That was the bad. Alan got it. That was the bad Jolene horror movie. Shadow Puppets. Thank you. Love that. I love you guys when you're able to answer these questions for me. I want to talk about Glorious, but I also don't want to spoil it.
Jacob's wife is great. Oh my God, Jacob's wife is so good. It's a little slow to start with, but it's worth it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The other thing I've watched, I saw Erica did a short called, what was it, 165 Star?
Yeah,
I
and she produced it.
and she produced it. That was great for anybody that's looking for something that Erica LaRose was in. It's 165. She wrote part of it too, right? Wrote, produced, acted. It was really good. It's a short.
I don't know if she wrote it. I know she developed it, produced it, and started it. And I know that because that's one of the reasons we started spending time together when we met.
It was great. I thought it was great. It's only like $5 to own it on Amazon, and it supports indie film, and it's good.
So it supports Erica, who is our favorite.
Yes, exactly. Reanimator. Oh, who doesn't love Reanimator? Who has seen all of them? I've seen all of them. Jeffrey talks about how much fun they were to shoot, with like stuff flying out, like making the heads fly, like the heads with the bat wings in whichever sequel that was.
So Gary Graham was in Robot Jocks, which was directed by same guy who directed Reanimator.
Oh, really? Okay. You want to see something? Oh, wait. Jober was in something? On top of everything else you've actually acted in? Look for Asylum of the Damned. I'm in one scene. Oh, there you go. You haven't seen... You stupid bypass. A lot of movie quotes flying by. If you haven't seen all the Reanimators, you really need to, because they're all good, because Jeff's in all of them. The one thing I have not seen that Jeff was in that I really need to see is that one movie with Michael J. Fox. That Halloween, like the horror movie.
Back to the Future?
No.
Talking about the New Zealand movie directed by Lord of the Rings dude?
No, it was... Oh my god, now you're going to make me like...
Phantasm or whatever it's called?
No. Now you're making me look up. I'm going to... You know what? I'd probably be better off looking up Michael J. Fox than Jeff Combs, because, I mean, Michael J. Fox is awesome, but I bet you his resume is shorter than
That's it. Tiffany nailed it. God damn it, Tiffany. It's always you.
What did she say?
Oh my God.
Frighteners, yes! That's it! Frighteners.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I haven't seen that, and it looks really good. Every Halloween I watch whatever channel's doing goofy Halloween countdowns, like the most horrific, the most this, the most that. I always watch them, and then I always sit there and go, I need to watch that horror movie, and then I never do. But so I've been meaning to watch Frighteners, and then I never remember. So, all right. So so y'all know that my last show is May 22nd. I pushed it out because I'm getting Bonnie Federici next week, and I am so jazzed. That was my big announcement. That's what I was vamping about before you got here. So Bonnie's next. Yep. So Bonnie's going to be here next week.
Our show. She's amazing.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Mm-hmm. So Bonnie's going to be here next week. And then Erica, so I pushed Erica off to the 22nd. So we're closing out on the 22nd.
Erica?
Yeah. I sort of texted Erica. I'm like, Bonnie, I want to have Bonnie on the 15th. Bonnie said she could do the 15th. And Erica's being a sport. I said I would not bump Erica for just anybody, but I've been dying to get Bonnie. So Erica's being a good sport. And it keeps me live and on the air one more week. So everybody's getting an extra week of me. I said, it was like, you missed it. I said, it's like when the Enterprise decided to set course for Risa, it took them 2 extra episodes before they even got there. So that's how this is going. It's like, I set course for Erica for the 15th, and now we have to move her to the 22nd. It's the same theory. So that's my justification. That's how I'm justifying it. So, Shuttlepod show, are you guys planning on going through the summer? What's going on for the Shuttlepod show
we are continuing to schedule guests. We have no plans to stop at the moment. So we've had some ideas about how to sort of wrap up season 2 so that we can take a breather update our graphics package,
Yeah.
sort of reorganize our media and all that. But if we do take a break, it won't be more than a couple of weeks, maybe a month.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I just remember. I remember last year. I think I went on my summer hiatus, and then the next week, the Shuttlepod show was like, "Yeah, we're going on summer break." I was like, "Oh my god, that's so funny."
Well, last year was like, we're going on. Should we keep doing this break? Like, we started doing it, and we had made a number of assumptions when we started it, and we ran into the reality of actually doing it, and then we had to reconcile our assumptions with the reality and determine whether or not we wanted to carry on. And obviously, we decided that we were going to carry on, and I think that the result has been very positive.
Yeah, I think if you were going to weigh the scales, I think positive would probably.
I think it's going well. I mean, we
I think
have
it's going
really
amazing.
fans. We've got, our Wash Gang volunteer group is, they're like my favorite people. I
Aw.
can't talk about, like, you're amongst them. There's so
Half
many
of them
people.
are here in the
Yeah,
chats.
yeah. And
So.
to have the opportunity to spend so much time with so many people that are in our show's inner circle.
Yeah.
This is kind of, I mean, it's work, but it's almost like, it's not necessarily Maui,
Right.
but it's almost like vacation.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, well, my little one-woman shop does shut down. JR, don't stop. My little one-lady shop does shut down for the summer. Puka wanted to know, it is just a summer break because I need to catch my breath. I am going, at this point, I have my plane ticket, so I am going to STLV. I know.
We're going to STLV, yes.
Oh, yeah, they're going to STLV too. I wasn't sure if we could announce it. They're going to STLV too. So we're all going to be in STLV. Slack Twaddle echoes that for all. So says Slack Twaddle. So say we all.
So say we all. Hold on.
Say we all. Don't you love it when people get up like you don't know what they're wearing? Like, I'm not getting up. You guys will never see like what shorts or pants or sweats or pajama bottoms I'm wearing. I just love when people get up and you're just always surprised about whatever it is they're wearing that you don't get to see on camera. It's kind of like very Monty Python-esque, I think. Yes, exactly. STLV or bust. I am going to be there. Oh, people, you keep talking too fast. Oh, what is that?
This is Slack Twaddle's husband's fire station.
Aww.
I think.
Oh, that's funny, Mars. I love that icebreaker. What are you wearing on your feet? I think a really great icebreaker on Zoom is, can you please keep your hands on the table where we can all see them? But that's just me. Bottom half on the show last week. We were all talking about your sexy legs, Mark, and your shorts while you were gone.
Yeah, well, yeah. This way.
All right, so
I think Muhammad is in the room, so I'm gonna do this real quick.
Okay, yes, Muhammad's here. Muhammad's gonna be at STLV too.
Muhammad's gonna be in your show in July.
Yeah, whatever. No, Muhammad's gonna be on your show. Muhammad's gonna be in STLV. I'm gonna be at STLV. I am working on, I haven't 100% decided I'm gonna do this. I am working on actually going to Trek Conderoga. I was unable to make it to Quiet Corner Sci-Fi, just with everything that was going on in my life at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the weekend to drive up to Connecticut, but I would love to be in Trek Conderoga hanging out in the gym. So anybody that's planning, Trek Conderoga is the 18th, 19th, and 20th of August, which means we could all be together to celebrate Gene Roddenberry's birthday, because if you weren't paying attention during Jonathan Frakes' interview, or you just, you're just tuning in now, Jonathan Frakes and Gene Roddenberry share the same birthday, which is August 19th. So, yes.
And then this is for Nancy Congdon and Dave, I believe.
Oh, there you go. So I'm hoping to be at Trek Conderoga. It should be fun. John Delancey's going to be there. Frakes is going to be there. So we can all celebrate Jonathan Frakes' birthday. Let's all go to Trek Conderoga and buy him copious amounts of alcohol for his birthday. Who else is going to be there? Two other people. And Spiner's going to be there. It's Delancey, Spiner, Frakes, and Ed, the guy that plays Jack. I can't remember his last name. Ed is going to be there. So
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. No, definitely not Ed Sheeran. Jack Crusher is going to be there. So I'm really excited. For those of you that have never been to Ticonderoga is a very teeny tiny town known for its pencils and its Fort Ticonderoga. It is in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. Spielers, thank you, Jober. Always right there with the info. That is Ed's last name. Thank you. And it's a really great convention, but the town's got one diner, one bar, one main street, a high school, which is where the entire convention takes place. And then, of course, James Crawley's recreation to spec of the original bridge. I have been there. I have seen it. It is freaking amazing. Right down to like the door that you open to start the tour says Desilu Studios on it. It's amazing. It's beautiful. If you are a True Trek fan, I don't know if Doug and the Akutas are going to be there, JR. I've just right now, if you want to go quick check their website, I would appreciate it. It is in Ticonderoga, Anika, and everybody. It is in Ticonderoga, New York. It is August 18th, 19th, and 20th. It is amazing. Forgot about the pizza place. There's a really good pizza place. And all tickets, I'm pretty sure all tickets for the weekend come with one tour. Comes with a bunch of stuff, but it comes with like the event and one set tour. You can upgrade, I believe, to set tours conducted by the actors. So you can just get a set tour conducted by one of their tour guides, or you can get a set tour by, like Jonathan Frakes could take you around the original TOS bridge. I wish I could go to FedCon in Bonn, Germany, Marguerite. That's awesome. I don't have a passport. One of these days I really need to actually get a passport. But anyway, yeah, I highly recommend Ticonderoga. I've done it twice, and it was a ton of fun. So I can't wait to go back and represent for the NX 7062. I have buttons. I have my official JR Pool buttons that I haven't had a chance to give out yet. Maybe I'll take some to Vegas if you guys want. They're great. JR does a great job. They're amazing. I love my little NX01 or NX 7062 buttons. So, I have a passport card. I can drive. I could drive to Toronto if I wanted to, or I could drive into Canada. I would just have to if I wanted to go visit Tiffany, I could, as long as I drove somewhere in the US to the border and then just bopped up. I can drive. My passport card. I just can't fly. So one of these days I need to get my passport updated. But all right, guys. Mark, do you have anything else you would like to contribute to the conversation? Except come to Vegas?
One, we're going to Vegas, and we're sorting that out now. But we're going to be there, and it's going to be fun as shit. And two, thank you so much for watching the new show and for the feedback on helping to make it great, because the whole purpose of doing the new show is for all of us to have a conversation about it and all of us to be excited about talking about Star Trek. So we might hit and miss from time to time, and some people were not super ecstatic about our presentation, but it comes from a really good place, and we really love doing it, and we're going to continue to do it, and we want your feedback, and we want you to be part of it. So
there you go.
You're very, very
Thanks, Mark. Just to answer all this passport stuff. Passports are expensive. I got a passport card. I got a passport card because that's all I need to go on the cruise, and you can get a passport card for cheaper because you can't fly on them. You can only drive or sail. Also, for everybody else that's talking about this, my birth certificate is German, and it makes me very nervous to hand over my original birth certificate and let it go somewhere and have to trust that it's going to come back to me with my passport and my passport card. because if my birth certificate gets lost, I have to go to the U.S. consulate. I cannot just get it anywhere. So that's another reason why I'm like, I did it for my passport card because I went on the cruise. If I decide to travel internationally, I will suck it up and fill out the paperwork and go. So that's the whole passport thing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have it, but I'm just scared to like let it out of my sight because, like I said, it's pretty almost irreplaceable. So, but like Mark said, thank you everybody for watching, for the feedback. All right, and yes, Ed, I am aware of that. It's not that you can't fly back; it's a pain in the ass because you have to go to the U.S. consulate wherever you get hurt. Show to raise money to get Stephanie a passport and a duplicate birth. Mika. I don't need a duplicate birth certificate. I have my original, but that's very funny.
She needs the ability to get a passport.
I need the ability to get a passport. Well, I mean, if you really want to help me out here, there's a couple of different ways you could donate to my show. That's a straight donation. That's the QR code for a straight donation. You could go grab yourself some fabulous merch at my store. In fact, I just created some Chat Pack 2.0 merch that's featured on the front page of my Teespring store, which is a ton of fun. Or if you really are feeling generous, you could join me on Patreon, because I too have my own Patreon. And it does help keep the lights on. It helps pay for, things like my Comcast bill so that I can do things like broadcast live and invite Mark Cartier to come on my show and talk for like the umpteenth time.
I made a point and I apologize for interrupting you, Stephanie, but I made a point of not reading the chat while we were doing this.
Okay.
And I'd like to know now that I have it up in front of me. Is everyone excited or interested in the new show that we're doing, where we like do a Star Trek school and we talk about every episode of Star Trek, and we talk about the things that might look bad and the things that are awesome and everything in between? Is that something that people are interested in?
Oh, yeah, let's take a poll. Unfortunately,
it's really important to me because I don't want to like beat my head against the wall with this. Absolutely. I see 18. I don't know what that means. Okay.
So yeah. I can start a poll. I didn't realize I had the ability to start a poll. What question would you like me to ask, Mark?
Do you like Star Trek School, or the episodes? We're going to call it the episodes. We started calling it the episodes, but that's too convoluted. We're going to call it the episodes.
All right. There we go. It's up. And you guys, this is my very first poll.
There you go.
It's my very first poll. So I'm kind of flipping. Please watch Code of Honor. All right, Jober. I also have the power to block people, Jober. Don't forget, I'm my own moderator. So
Jober, we're not going to watch Code of Honor. And like, what the hell? Jober.
We love you, Jober, but
yesterday I was taking a nap.
How many likes? Somebody
was in 3 days. So,
ooh, there's something going on behind my green screen. Yeah, I only have 17 likes. What the hell, people?
Star Trek School is cool and in session. Nice. All right. Well, okay, good.
I got 100. So
but we got LeVar Burton and we have Jimmy Darren this week. So it'll be LeVar on Sunday, Jimmy Darren next Sunday, and we've got another slate of guests lined up. And we're going to try to do. We're going to start to schedule the episodes. And the first thing we're going to do is schedule live viewing parties for the episodes that we're going to be talking about.
And that's Patreon. I was going to say that's Patreon exclusive. So put up another poll. Have you liked this episode? Max Grodencheck. Oh, God. Max would be great.
Yeah, but he lives in Austria, right?
Yeah, he lives in Vienna.
He's one of the Rat Pack. So we're going to be in
Yeah, we're going to be in
We are going to
Vegas.
be in Vegas, and one of the things that's happened now that we've started talking about being in Vegas is some people have been offering us their studios to shoot in, to do interviews. So we may line up some interviews to do while we're in Vegas and try to glop it into a.
You just need to kind of check depending on Max's schedule. Sometimes they fly him in for the Rat Pack.
Not Max specifically so much as being in Vegas generically and
Right.
having some people in to.
Alice Krieg would be cool. Jamie Somerville just jumped in with Alex Krieg would be cool. Yes, I think she was my favorite board queen. So that would be cool. All right.
Isn't anyone here that I don't like?
That you don't like? Remember, this is my show, so I love everybody here. So Mark's views do not express the views of the NX706.
But everybody else I recognize and love. So
yeah, no, this is great. So so look for us all in Vegas. It's going to be an amazing time. Help me keep the lights on. You can donate to the show. Just scan my little QR code.
And Melissa, let's go get a margarita. I'm going to put you to work tomorrow because we got to set up for LeVar on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, go enjoy tonight, Melissa, because that's it. Your vacation ends tomorrow morning.
Shran and I are going to put you to work.
Yeah, speaking of, we still don't know who was
putting furniture into cargo vans.
There you go. And we still actually don't know who the Shuttlepod show was who was sneaking in here earlier. That's interesting. It shall forever be a mystery. But you better be texting her, Mark, as soon as we get done this. So for everybody out there, thank you for coming and hanging out. And like I said, you've got me for 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Next week is Bonnie. Week after is Erica. So I am closing out my season very strong. Skynet left the chat. I don't know if that's good or not. I guess I'll find out when I hang up if I'm still here or if they are coming to get me, knock down my door like a bunch of Daleks. The Shuttlepod show is still here. The mystery continues. Mark, thank you as always for joining me. It's always fun having you. Episode is great. I can't wait for the next one and the next one and the next one. And yeah, until I see you all next week, don't forget, as always, to please live long and prosper.
This is Connor Turner. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie. Enjoy your evening.